Week 15, guys, let's go. Most of you are starting your playoffs this week, and Frankie and I are going to help you win your playoff week. Let's get you to round 2. Let's go. All right. Welcome to the show. This is the Frankly Fantasy Football Podcast. We are your hosts, Frankie and Johnny. Welcome in, man. This is playoff time, baby. Let's go. I don't like that look on your face.
Yeah.
Is something bothering you?
What the fuck's on your head? That's disgusting. That's what I want. Okay, I get it.
Come on, give me an OH, baby.
Oh, I can't even do it.
Come
I'm
on,
not doing it.
OH, IU. Let's go.
Gross.
All right, guys, listen. I know. I did this just to troll Frankie in person. I know. We're both from Ohio. We're both Buckeye fans, but I live in Indiana.
There
so
you
you know what?
You live in Hoosier County.
I'm always going to root for the team I live and always have my heart in Ohio there, baby. But hey, man, I'm super proud of IU. It was a great game.
Have to be.
Look at the bright side. It was the Big Ten championship, not the college football championship.
Totally.
So, hey, let's see these two teams in the Natty. How about that?
I think that would be awesome.
I think it'd be so much fun.
There you go.
Good for IU. Good for Signetti. I Googled him, and guess what? That motherfucker wins.
There you go. That's good. He does win.
Great game. Awesome to watch. It was so much fun. I'm really proud of IU and always proud of the Buckeyes. I still want the Buckeyes to win it all. So
there you go.
Don't go crazy with me, okay?
Good.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. I like it, man. Welcome to the show, everybody. Let's go. I hope you ended well. I hope you were the high point man. I hope you're in your goddamn playoffs. I hope you have a first round bye if your leagues do that. Let's go, Frankie. How did you end up so far? You in the playoffs here, man?
Listen, man, out of the 4 leagues, I'm in 3. I am
go.
in 3 of them, and I'll tell you what, I'm in high point man in one league. I missed high point man by 1 point in another league, but let me tell you, hell of a battle. I'm so excited, man, and I'll tell you what, in probably 2 leagues, I got a legitimate shot. So we're going to be fighting a little bit, man. How did you end up, Johnny boy?
Well, thanks to you taking down the top team in our 14-team family league, I am the number 1 seed. So everybody all year was like, this team's incredible. This team's incredible. Johnny, you have a good record. You know, nobody's respected my team, okay? They've all just said I've been lucky, but let me tell you, consistency matters, baby. And I'm the number 1 team, so you can't say that now. So let's go. You and I are probably going to meet. Yeah, let's go, Frankie and Johnny in round 2 of the playoffs. Let's go. Hey, we got to get through this week first, man.
We do.
So let's do this, all right? Today, guys, we're going to we're going to do something a little different here. We're focused solely on week 15. First week of your playoffs for most of you. We're going to look at some start sits, but first, we're going to get into the news, baby.
News and notes.
All right, in the news here, Frank. First one, bring out the goddamn bell. Oh, I hate bringing out the bell coming into week 15. This one's brutal. We got to talk about this for a second, man. Indiana Jones, speaking of IU right here on my hat. Indiana Jones, Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes, a lot of nicknames for this guy. Tore his Achilles, man. He's out for the season. God, it's so brutal, man. All right, Frank, what are we going to do here, man? I mean, we've got a backup quarterback, a rookie quarterback, super young.
Super young.
What are we doing with these assets now? We've got Michael Pittman Jr., Josh Downs, Alec Pierce has been very good for people in their fantasy leagues, and Jonathan Taylor's a goddamn beast. This changes everything. Talk about it real quick. What are we doing with the Colts, man?
Guys, it's going to depend on who the Colts are looking to bring in. Listen, there's a lot of speculation that they're bringing out Old Man Rivers for a few tryouts. But hear me out. It's not like he has a son that's also, you know, basically older. So his oldest son is older than Riley Green, or
That's
Riley
so
Leonard,
funny.
excuse me. So, yeah, Riley Green, great country singer, by the way. But yeah, Riley Leonard. So, yeah, I mean, who knows? If Phillip Rivers comes in, is he going to be like Flacco and is slinging it all over the place, man? I don't know. But he hasn't even worked out yet. We're going to see how that pans out. As is, if we're talking as is, Riley Leonard at the helm, I think we all need to level set expectation. And I think it's going to be one guy, maybe 2 that are fairly decent from a receiving perspective. More than likely, probably going to be Tyler Warren and then one of the other guys. But to the level of what we know, I don't know. Because this is such an anomaly because you're going to have teams that are going to stack the box against JT. So innately, that should open up the pass a bit more. But man, it's going to be tough sledding. Even if you're one of the receiver owners, or you're a JT owner, I think you got to level set a little bit on expectation.
Yeah, I mean, you're coming into JT's gotten you to the playoffs. If you've got JT, you're most certainly in the playoffs right now. I mean, it's just brutal. There's not a lot you can do, guys. You've got to start him. Now let's focus. I think you have to start Tyler Warren as well, man. I mean, especially with a young quarterback, he's going to be looking for those short, quick outlets and those quick hits. Sure. Tyler Warren's all over the field. I mean, when it comes to Pittman, what do we do there, man? Alec Pierce, to me, if you're desperate, he could get a big bomb. I mean, that's just what he does. I don't think it's going to be a bunch of them, but he could get you a bomb touchdown. Major risk here. We're playing at Seattle. The Colts are coming into Seattle as 13.5-point dogs.
Yeah.
Vegas sees it too, guys. This isn't us just talking shit. Okay, this is not going to be pretty for the Colts. What do we do with Pittman? It looked like he hyper-targeted him in this game. Do you trust that, man? Or, are we going to look at a different game plan coming into this game?
So looking at this, Pittman ended up having 12 targets, 9 receptions, 79 yards. That was fantastic. Yeah. But that's also against Jacksonville. We're talking Seattle. They are the second best defense really next to Houston.
In Seattle.
It's in Seattle, which is a very difficult. You hear the 12th man? Yeah, we can hear it from Ohio. That's how loud those dudes are. So it's a big deal when you're going to Seattle in a game that means a lot to them as well, knowing they're trying to vie for division title over that of the Rams. So, yeah, man, it's not great. And to answer your point, what do we do with Pittman? I loved the target share, but again, I don't know if that's repeatable for this particular week. So in my opinion, I would, if you're in a PPR league, I think you could slightly lean Pittman over Alec Pierce. If you're in a standard or full PP or half PPR league, you might, if you have to, and you're choosing between them, you might slightly lean Alec Pierce due to the boom capability. Now, the reality is, man, I'm probably looking elsewhere in total. I don't want to anchor week 15 on these guys.
I agree. They may have gotten you to the playoffs, but they're not going to get you through the playoffs at this point, not without a serviceable quarterback. Agreed. All right, let's go to Cincinnati here. Tee Higgins, man, this guy took some shots this past week. Holy shit. In concussion protocol, he was feeling rough, man. I mean, he had serious symptoms, so this could be a possibility that he misses here. Who are we looking at filling in this week if Tee Higgins doesn't go? Do you trust any of these other guys to help you in week 15 in your first week of the playoffs?
Definitely, John. There's two guys, again, that come to mind, and it's Gesicki, and then it's also that of Iosivas. So if we look at what Gesicki did, again, without Tee Higgins, or when Tee Higgins gets hurt, this is what it transpires. He was tight end 2 for the week. What does that mean? He had 6 targets, 6 receptions, 86 yards, and a touchdown. Gesicki performs when Higgins is out. And so for me, man, I absolutely think that's viable. I think you can fire him up for sure. And then when we look at what Iosivas did, okay, as kind of the 2, he was a little bit down. So he ended up only having 3 targets, 2 receptions, 17 yards. If I'm picking between the 2, I actually am leaning Gesicki as my start, knowing if Higgins is out, he's probably going to be out, knowing that this is, kind of back-to-back weeks in a sense. But in regards to concussion protocol. So for me, man, I would be leaning Gesicki.
I'm starting all those guys, man. I mean, it's the Ravens at the Bengals. Ravens are favored by 2.5. The over-under's 52.5. There's going to be scoring.
Huge conference game. Huge conference game.
There's going to be scoring. Both teams think they can make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they have to win this game in order to do so. So this is going to be a huge game, guys. But I agree with you. Iosivas did not get a full game either. You have to keep that into consideration. Tee Higgins left towards the end of the game.
Good call.
But that means that Gesicki was targeted early often.
Yep.
So, yes, I'm going Gesicki as a tight end either way. But if Tee Higgins is out, I think you can start Iosivas. I really do. And there's going to be a lot of scoring in this game. But Chase and Burrow, get him out there, baby. This is going to be beautiful. Chase Brown, get his ass out there for sure. What about the Ravens on this one, Frank? I mean, since we're here, let's talk about this. I mean, obviously you're starting Derrick Henry. We need Lamar to turn around. Okay, these people that drafted Lamar as their number 1 quarterback, based on the year he had last year, super disappointed.
Super disappointing.
But his schedule's so good. I see Lamar could come alive here. Lamar could be that guy that wins you your Super Bowl this year. I think it could be. His schedule's great, but it starts this week with Cincinnati. I think Lamar goes on a fucking tear.
I
really
agree,
do.
John. And to that point, guys, I think you got to fire up his number one guy that's coming back to life in Zay Flowers. When we look at what Zay did, it wasn't just a 4 reception, 5 target game, 50 yards kind of thing. It was 11 targets. He finally is getting there again with Lamar. It's taken some weeks. And so it's 11 targets, 8 receptions, and then he ended up having 126 yards, guys. So, I mean, to put that in perspective, his yards per target was actually 11.27. They were throwing him down the field, which is fantastic. So for me, I absolutely love everything about that. And the other call out to your point is Lamar Jackson. And the reason why I want to call this out, man, is because when you look at what he's done over the last few weeks, really since week 11, okay? Week 11 against the Browns, 0.72 points. 0.72 points. Okay, then the Jets, 6.22 points against the Jets. And then you look at the Bengals last time he played, which was only 2 weeks ago, 4.5 points. And then he has the bounce back against Pittsburgh. Guys, you don't think that Lamar is looking at what he did against the Bengals previously and saying, no, we gotta win, we gotta run here to happen. I think you're right, man. I think Lamar's gonna be just fine this week.
What about the tight ends for Baltimore? I'm starting to see in deeper leagues, I have them in a 14-team league, Isaiah Likely's becoming a little sneaky in this offense.
Totally.
Yeah. I mean, are you looking at, would you start in this game? 52.5 over under. Lots of scoring here. Bengals defense. Are you looking at both Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely? Is that a viable start for you at tight end?
Certainly. Guys, absolutely, John. And here's why. Look at what Isaiah Likely has done over the last 2 weeks. And this is just last week and the week prior. Okay, last week, or this past week, 6 targets, 4 receptions, 25 yards, and a touchdown. Nice. Touchdown saved it. But he had 6 targets. And then the week, what was that, 13, he ended up having 6 targets, 5 receptions, 95 yards. Guys, what I'm saying is he has had back-to-back double-digit weeks. I think he's completely viable in what will most likely be a shootout. And then you start looking at, well, Mark Andrews, don't forget, Mark Andrews was a massive trade candidate, right? Until they just signed him for another extension. So Mark Andrews has a lot to play for, man. And so for me, yeah, he had a very down week this past week. He only had 1.9 points in half PPR, but he had good target share. He had 5 targets this past week. He had 6 targets the week before. So for me, man, absolutely. I think that you can look to start both of these guys.
I love it, man. I love it. All right, let's head over to Dallas here. CeeDee Lamb. This one really hurt people last week. CeeDee Lamb's in concussion protocol. Now, he's got more time since it was on Thursday, so we're just going to have to watch practice here, guys. But Frankie, if CeeDee Lamb is out, Ryan Flournoy, a little bit sneaky here, man. What are you going to do with this Dallas offense if CeeDee Lamb's out?
Well, first off, you're circling George Pickens. I don't care what happened, and people can say he was giving up on plays. I don't give a shit. From a fantasy perspective, he's gold. And then Ferguson.
Oh, you mean the wide receiver 3 after week 14?
Exactly. The wide receiver 3, guys. And then Ferguson, how is he so good? He is so solid. So those 2 guys, significant increase. Here's a call.
You mean the tight end 3?
The tight end 3. Exactly. Thank you. Guys, here is something interesting to consider. In super deep leagues, if you're looking at an Alec Pierce and you're nervous, things like that, and we find CeeDee Lamb cannot play, we know that Dallas has got to win this game. They got to put up points as well in order to do it because their defense isn't super great. You could look at Flournoy. I'm not saying I like it. I'm not saying I love that decision, but I'm saying it's a viable, potential, interesting option. And here's why. 13 targets, 9 receptions, 115 yards, and a touchdown. Guys, that's not a one-time boom play. You're getting 13 targets here. And so what teams could start doing, and what they showed they do, is they're going to put a safety over top of George Pickens. Somebody else needs to come alive on this offense outside of Javonte and then Ferguson. And it looks like it's Flournoy over that of Turb. I mean, you called it out last week, John. Hey, get a piece of the offense. Somebody's bound to boom. And you were saying maybe Turbin or maybe it's, whoever. Here it's Flournoy. So guys, he could be, if you are playing the number 1 seed and you need an absolute boom play and CeeDee Lamb is out, he could be an interesting pick for you.
God, I'd be so pissed if I lost the first round of the playoffs to goddamn Ryan Flournoy.
Wow.
Could happen, man. Absolutely could happen. All right, let's keep going here. DK Metcalf, wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers, actually was hospitalized after that Ravens game with stomach pains. Didn't seem like anything came out of it. He should be okay, but watch practice this week just in case. A couple of injuries here we're just going to have to watch. We might get some updates with Friday with Frankie here on Instagram and TikTok. Keaton Mitchell with a knee injury. Watch his status. David Njoku, tight end for the Browns, with a knee injury. Watch his status as well. Geno Smith left the game with a shoulder injury. He's been terrible. There's no way he's your quarterback if you're in the playoffs right now. No damage right now, but just keep an eye on him as well. It could be an effect for you for Brock Bowers, so keep an eye on that. Devon Achane left the game with a rib injury. Wasn't broken, anything like that. He could have come back in, but they had such a big lead, they kept him out. I think he's going to play this week, Frankie, but I would look at Jalen Wright and Ollie Gordon, sit on those two and wait and see what happens. Let me ask you this question. Does Ollie Gordon have some standalone value for you this week, Frankie, in the first round of the playoffs? Would you start Ollie Gordon if you had to?
It's tough. I personally would say no. I would not look to start him, but that also doesn't say he doesn't have standalone value. What we see from Ollie Gordon, he's definitely the goal line back, and you're going to get an opportunity to touchdown. Whether it's 1 time a game, whether it's 4 times a game, we don't know. It all depends on that offense. But for me, man, it's certainly something. I mean, you look at, he's had 2 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks. It's pretty solid, but he has 3 touchdowns on the entire year. So, like, when you kind of break it out like that, it's like, is he on a hot streak? I don't know. It's too hard to say. He only had 5 rushes, 17 yards. But again, it's by the goal line. So here's what I would do. If you have Devon Achane, please pick up Ollie Gordon and or Jalen Wright. The reason that this makes sense is because you do away with some of your depth at this point in time to back up your superstars on your particular team. And it's if you have Achane. Now is where you want those handcuffs in case something crazy happens. So guys, yeah, I wouldn't be starting Ollie Gordon personally. He might have some standalone value in super deep leagues that it's probably a standard league. Sure. Outside of that, no, but pick him up in case something happens.
All right, a couple more guys here. Tyrod Taylor with a groin injury. Keep an eye on that. Darnell Washington has in concussion protocol. Elijah Arroyo, tight end for the Seahawks, with a knee injury. He could be out. All right, let's get to the bane of your fantasy existence this year. Every year, there seems to be one guy that'll drive you fucking crazy.
This is it.
I know you guys can relate to that. Everyone's got that one person where it's like, oh, God, he's the bane of my existence. Yours is Jayden Daniels, man.
It is.
You super high on him in the offseason. You ranked him very high. You drafted him in a couple of leagues. I know that. So you've been very interested in his status here, man. Left the game again this week. Oh, when I saw him get injured, I almost called you. Because I knew you were just crying or drinking heavily. One of the two.
Both.
Left with an elbow injury, did not return. It is up in the air. It sounds like he could have returned, but the game was out of control at that point. That makes me nervous. What do you think is going to be happening? They could hold him out here, Frank, because they have nothing to play for. So what are we doing? Are you going to have a specific Jayden Daniels update here come Fridays with Frankie?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. You have to, because here's the thing. If you have him as a starter or even as your backup, you need to know, okay, how do I need to figure out this waiver wire situation? Because you might have a Tua Tagovailoa on the waiver. You might have a Tyler Shugg on the waiver, and with them playing.
He's been on fire.
He's been on fire. So, like, now you have to make a difficult decision, or do you just go Mariota? Right? Because the backup with Mariota, first off, they're playing the New York Giants. You're salivating over that opportunity for them. And then you look at Mariota outside of last week. I get that he came in, Jayden Daniels gets hurt and looked like absolute shit. However, against Denver, for example, in week 13, he was QB3, week 11, but right before their bye week, QB9, and against Detroit, he was QB 13. So that what that is that's 20 points, 18 points, 26 points. Guys, if you have Jayden Daniels, prepare now, meaning for this waiver wire, don't wait until Sunday. Don't wait until Friday. Don't wait until Thursday. Pick up a couple backups because you might play against somebody who's targeting you, who's going to try to screw you. That's a good strategy as well. Like if you're also playing against Jayden Daniels, guys, and you have an open bench spot, try to fuck the dude. Seriously, because I would 100%. And that's a little bit of a strategy from you guys. So again, if the waiver wire's thin, not a ton of quarterbacks, pick up a few, see what happens. It's really interesting, man. Yeah, Jayden Daniels has been tough.
Absolutely, man. And this is a weird game, man. I don't know what to expect here. We're playing at the Giants, a divisional game. Giants are actually favored by 2.5.
So interesting.
47.5 over under. So yeah, makes me super nervous there, man. I mean, Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, you feel good about that?
Oh, man. I mean, if Mariota's there, we've seen Deebo perform decent. We've seen TMC perform pretty decent, but no, I don't feel super great about it, if I'm being honest with you.
It's a good matchup.
It's a good matchup, but it's tough.
I'm trying to stay away from the Commanders at this point, man. You know, it's playoffs. We haven't seen Terry McLaurin do enough in the recent, since he's come back, to really feel that confident with Mariota especially.
Yeah.
What about the running backs for the Commanders?
Same thing, man. They're kind of in the abyss, you know?
Right. Chris Rodriguez, maybe if you've been decimated by injury. But I think that's an break glass in case of emergency type start. I don't love it. Yeah. The other thing with bring out the bell one last time here, Zach Ertz, tight end for the Commanders as well. ACL injury, out for the season's probably lights out and curtains for Zach Ertz, I think, at this point in his career. Right? Okay. Fantasy season is in full swing, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. Guys, playing Underdog is so easy. Just pick whether your favorite players are going to go higher or lower on stats like rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, so much more. Frankie, what pick'em do we have for everybody this week, man?
All right, guys, this week on Underdog, we're looking at two different games. The first is going to be Tampa Bay versus that of the Falcons. You know it. I'm baking up Baker Mayfield going higher than 199 passing yards, and I'm going to take that along with Joey Burrow versus that of the Ravens to have higher than 239 passing yards as well.
Oh, yeah, let's go, baby. Download the app today and use the promo code FRANKLY to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code FRANKLY. Underdog. Make picks, win money. Must be 18 plus. 19 plus in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia. And President of State where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/playing-get-terms_DFS_TFS. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369. All right, Frank, let's look at some things here now for the playoffs. Week 15.
Yeah.
Let's look specifically at these matchups and let's try to find some guys. Everybody knows who you're starting. You're starting your studs. You know who those people are. We're going to try to touch on a few guys on a few teams here that aren't so obvious. Maybe some flex players give you a little flex appeal. You know what I'm saying? Let's pull that song out. Flex appeal, baby. Wait, that's a blast from the past. Let's go. There it is. All right, let's go. Okay, Frankie, now we're going to start with some quarterback, wide receiver. We're going to look at the favorable slates here. You've got some teams that you want to talk about that are playing against some favorable defenses for quarterback and wide receiver. So let's get at it here, man. These are not obvious guys. I'm sure a lot of people are looking at some of these teams going, what do I do with these guys this week? All right, man, let's start with the Vikings at the Cowboys. Okay, that's a great matchup. What are we going to roll with the Vikings here, man? I mean, talk about inconsistency in this passing game. That's an understatement for sure.
Complete.
Talk to us about it. Give us some good advice here.
Guys, so here's the deal. You're looking at the Vikings and you're having Justin Jefferson all year. You've been absolutely miserable, especially the last 5 weeks where he hasn't scored double digits. And so that's just brutal. So for me, man, this though is the week that you gotta actually look. Like, listen, if you have Justin Jefferson, more than likely you gotta play him. However, if you're in a 8-team league, a 10-team league, you may be looking at Justin Jefferson or Jalen Waddle. You may be looking at some of these other guys that are not as, crystal clear in terms of who do I play. I'll be honest with you. In those tighter leagues or smaller leagues, John, I might lean to do a Waddle over a Justin Jefferson just to be safe. However, in a normal standard 12-team, 14-team, or a larger league like a 16-team league, you're probably going to need to play him. Now let's look at everybody else outside of Justin Jefferson. I'm probably firing up Jordan Addison this week. And I'll tell you why. And the reason being is because he's outplayed Justin Jefferson in the last 2 weeks alone. He ended up having 17 total targets in the last 2 weeks, and that equated to 9 total receptions and almost 100 yards in total, especially in a full PPR, guys. That's a decent floor. So if you're looking for a decent floor play, I think Addison is fine, right? But the reality is don't expect a big boom from these guys either, because the way the quarterback play has been, it's been terrible. So it's a great matchup, great opportunity, level set expectation on Jordan Addison and that of Justin Jefferson. But I'm actually probably leaning to start Jordan Addison if I had him this week.
All right, sounds good. Now we're going to continue here looking at the Commanders. We just talked about it. Real quick, quarterback. I mean, in a super flex, I think you can look at Mariota. Do you agree?
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally
QB2, I think that's somebody you can roll out there at the Giants. TMC, Debo. Are you rolling with this, man?
Oh, gosh. I'll tell you what.
At the Giants.
At the Giants. It's such a good matchup. Yeah. You know what? If I do have TMC or if I do have Debo Samuel, realistically, you need to use them as a flex. Okay. So for me at that point, if you're looking at it, let's actually do a would you rather. If you're looking at an Alec Pierce or a Debo Samuel, I'm going Debo Samuel. If you're looking at a Terry McLaurin or a Michael Pittman Jr., I'm going to go Terry McLaurin. The reason being is because Riley Leonard is so much more of an unknown, and the team that they're playing against is so much better that, man, if I have an opportunity to start one of these guys over them, then I'm going to do that. Now, let's go the opposite way. If I'm going to be if I'm looking at Stephon Diggs or a Debo Samuel or Terry McLaurin, I'm going to go Stephon Diggs. So that, I hope, gives you guys an area more fluid as to where these guys kind of land and sit with me.
All right, so here's a question here. I mean, we've got Dolphins at the Steelers. That's a nice matchup for quarterbacks and receivers here. Receivers, you're firing up Jalen Waddle. Absolutely, no question about it. Do you look at Tua, or is Tua, even in a super flex, as a quarterback 2, is Tua even on the board here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, in his super flex, guys, in my opinion, yes. I know that he has been down. Last week was terrible, right? With the Jets, he only put up 10 points. The week before against the Saints, it was terrible. It was 1.68 points. But then you start looking at some of the other things he's been able to do against the Bills, double digits, Atlanta, double digits, 30 points against Atlanta. So for me, man, looking at what Lamar was able to do from a passing perspective and looking at what some of the weapons Tua has around him, I think that, yes, you could start Tua, though let me be clear. I would stack rank Marcus Mariota over that of Tua Tagovailoa for this particular week.
All right, let's go to the 49ers, man. The 49ers are playing the Titans.
Okay.
This is a beautiful matchup, okay? 49ers with Titans.
As it gets.
Quarterbacks, wide receivers, we're talking specifically here. Are you just firing up everybody? Name the names we're starting here, buddy.
Everybody. Guys, Brock Purdy. First off, look at what Shedeur Sanders just did. Rookie, 364 yards, 4 total touchdowns, almost 400 total yards. Yeah, imagine now what Brock Purdy's going to do. Okay, so Brock Purdy, firing him up. Ricky Pearsall, I'm willing to take a risk. Again, if you're looking at it in the lens of you need a solid flex piece, yeah, I'm totally down for Ricky Pearsall and take that risk. And Jauan Jennings, that should be a guy that should perform this week. And of course you have Kittle. You're firing him up regardless. So for me, man, yeah, I'm going to be firing up the 49ers against this Titans defense for sure.
All right. Now, we talked about the Commanders at the Giants. What about the Giants? Any fantasy relevance whatsoever playing the Commanders at home here, man?
Guys, yes. And for me, it's Wan'Dale Robinson.
Yeah.
Like what he's been able to do this year has been nothing short of impeccable. I mean, we're talking, he's coming off an insane, like literally, man. I mean, if you look at what he's been able to do the last few weeks, yeah, week 13, he had 6.9 points and half PPR, and full PPR would have been a little bit different. But then he's coming off at Detroit, 27-point game. For me, knowing the Commanders are so just abysmal at this point from a defense perspective, yeah, man, I really, really do like that of Wan'Dale Robinson against the Commanders.
All right, let's look at which quarterbacks and receivers are running through the fucking gauntlet here, man. We got a couple really tough matchups here for a few teams. The Bears with the Browns. Now, I know the Browns are not very good, but we've talked about it all year, and this defense has proven it over and over again. DPOY 2 years in a row?
Yeah.
Are we looking at this with Myles
Sure.
Garrett? I mean, what's he need?
3 sacks, guys.
3 sacks. So that means he's going to be hungry. He's going to be out there with that terrifying look on his face, looking for those 3 sacks in this game. What are we doing with the Bears quarterback and wide receiver situation against the Browns?
Guys, I have Caleb Williams. I have been playing Caleb Williams all year. I am sitting Caleb Williams this week and potentially looking to play a Bryce Young or a Tyler Shugg over him. Browns, this is not a great matchup at all for the Bears. Whether it's from a defensive line standpoint, actually, we'll talk about the rush attack a bit, but it's going to deplete the rushing, even though we saw Tony Pollard do some really crazy shit this past week. But for the most part, they've been bottling them up. The second thing is the receiving core. Dude, when we look at Rome Odunze was out this week and DJ Moore was where? He wasn't on the field. Where was he at? He was gone. He was pissing around with something. 0.1 points, I think is what he had,
One
John?
catch for negative yards. That's all he had.
insane.
DJ
That's
Moore.
insane.
He's the alpha. What the hell?
Without Rome Odunze here, guys.
Wow.
And so when you're telling me you're matching up Denzel Ward and Grant Delpit and Tyson Campbell with some of these other guys, and you're asking Caleb Williams, a second-year dude, to come in here and ball out, absolutely not am I trusting that for my fantasy team. So look elsewhere, guys.
All right, the Bills. Man, I tell you what, Josh Allen owners, you're looking at this playoff schedule, and it is tough. We'll get to the other weeks, but let's focus right now on Week 15 at the Patriots. Now, there is some good news here because the Bills are favored at the Patriots by 1.5. It's a 50.5 over-under. So there's going to be scoring here, but it's going to be rough for Josh Allen. He's going to have to do his Superman shit and take over the game. This Patriots team is very solid on all sides of the ball, guys. What are we expecting here specifically with Josh Allen and his receivers, especially the receivers? Where do we go here, man?
So this is going to be tough because it's all going to be dependent on Christian Gonzalez, the defensive back for that of the Patriots. Like, is he going to follow? Because if he follows and now you're following a receiver is what I'm trying to say. And so Keon Coleman, I'm benching him. I'm not starting Keon Coleman this week at all. Khalil Shakur in a full PPR. Yeah, I could be convinced to do that because he's going to need something, right? He's going to need some sort of outlet from a
The ball's got to go somewhere. Okay?
Exactly.
Josh Allen he's going to throw 200 plus yards.
Totally.
Where's it going? It's got to be Khalil Shakur.
It's got to be Khalil Shakur. And then we'll talk about the tight ends as well because Kincaid absolutely is a start if he's playing. But for me, man, it really starts and stops from a receiver perspective with Shakur. And of course, you're firing up Josh Allen because you have to.
Yeah. And you've got he's the quarterback 1 right now. Let's go to the quarterback 2 right now in the season for fantasy. It's the Chiefs, man, but they're playing the Chargers this week. Okay. So Patrick Mahomes, his receiving core, what are your thoughts on all?
This is a brutal matchup. This is not good. When you look at a great example is what we just saw on Monday night. Okay. The Chargers against the Eagles and what Jalen Hurts and his skill set with the offense around him, the offensive line, the A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley looked like shit. Okay? Like what I'm saying is this Chargers defense is super for real. Yeah, have they had a few blunders? Absolutely. Now, here's the reality, though. You have Patrick Mahomes, you're starting Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. It is what it is. You're not going to be able to stream anything better, nor would you really even take the risk. You're firing up Rashee Rice because he's that guy. Outside of that, John, I'm not starting anybody else. From a receiver perspective, right. I'm just
Xavier Worthy. It's not worth the chance right now.
No way. No way. There's better options.
The only way I would consider Xavier Worthy, I would, if I'm the 8 seed and I'm playing against the 1 seed, and this team is just exactly. And you're playing the number 1 team in the playoffs, and they've just got a way better team than yours. If you want to throw some big booms up there to get guys out there and maybe get a boom, then you could look at Worthy. I don't love it, though. It's a desperation play for sure. Okay, Frank, real quick. Let's look at some backfields here. Let's look at some running backs, man. Week 15, good matchups with some running backs here. Start with the Miami Dolphins and give it to me.
Love the Miami Dolphins, Devon Achane. Thinking about Pittsburgh, guys, this is so gold. And let's just say, even if Devon Achane's a little bit banged up, guys, I think that if he is, there's other opportunities. We saw Jalen Wright look really good when he came out. Saw Ollie Gordon put up a touchdown. Again, I personally wouldn't start those other guys unless Achane was out. But in a deep league, if you need it, this is a good matchup. I love Devon Achane here, man.
All right, we talked about the Washington Commanders a little bit. Is Chris Rodriguez worth putting out there?
I wouldn't do it, but it's a decent matchup. Guys, if you need something for a floor, you could. If you have injuries that are ensuing or you don't like the other matchups, you could look at Chris Rodriguez. though, guys, just know it's a three-headed monster. Sure, he's the lead back there, but also Jeremy Nichols is in there taking away the pass work. You have JCM in there that's also getting some work. So for me, again, that's a desperation break glass in case of emergency play. I would look elsewhere.
All right, let's get back to that Buffalo-New England game here with the 50.5 over-under.
Yeah, baby.
We got some running backs you've got to play in this
Hell yeah,
matchup.
we do.
Yeah, give it to me.
Oh, Trevion Henderson, guys, and Ramondre Stevenson. Honestly, I think that there is value in both here. Let me put it like this. If I have Ramondre Stevenson and I have Chris Rodriguez and I have to pick between the two, I'm going Ramondre because I just feel like there's something there from what Vrabel is seeing to him still being on the field. I don't know what it is. Trevion's outperformed him, but apparently Vrabel still likes this dude, especially within the red zone area. So for me, you're firing up Trevion and you're not even thinking twice about it. For Ramondre, it's not just a complete disqualification from him. Look to see what your team is. If you have better options, go elsewhere. But man, I mean, you may need to look at him, but man, I love Henderson.
You know what I see Ramondre as is David Montgomery. It's starting to become one of those scenarios. I see him as a Tyler Algier as well.
Yes.
There is standalone value, but he's got to fall in the end zone.
He's got to fall in the end zone.
Yeah, because the other guy's the guy who's going to get the 50-yard touchdowns.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. The Cleveland Browns. Wow, we don't talk about a lot of fantasy with the Cleveland Browns here, man, but you love the running game this week. What do you got?
Love Quinshon Judkins. Guys, I get it. Quinshon was tough sledding. It was tough sledding from a pure rushing perspective from that of the Titans. But again, they were playing from behind. They had to throw the ball. But here's the thing. He got involved in the receiving aspect last week as well. So looking at Chicago, I mean, they are going to pound the rock with Quinshon. So for me, this is a great matchup. Fire him up as much as you can.
All right. Now let's look at some guys that have the worst running back playoff schedule for week 15. These are guys we're going to want to try to avoid, guys. And I know it's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of injuries to running backs. I've had to start this guy most of the season since he took over. R.J. Harvey, running back for the Denver Broncos, week 15 versus the Packers.
Really
Talk about it.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Super brutal, guys. This is not a great matchup. The only saving grace with R.J. Harvey, in my opinion, is his ability in the passing attack. So if you're in a full PPR, R.J. Harvey might be okay. Now, fully transparent, I would probably still stack rank. I would personally take the risk with R.J. Harvey over that of a Ramondre Stevenson, if I'm being honest with you, just to show you kind of where that tier is for me. But it's close because this matchup is so brutal. The Packers on a defensive line are getting after it. Their linebackers look really good, and they may be, honestly, man, a top 3 team in the NFC, and they are surging at the right time. So this is not good for a Denver Broncos running back room.
All right, the other guy we're talking about here is Breece Hall, man. I mean, I'll let you get into it, but they are playing at Jacksonville. Jaguars are favored 12.5 with a 41.5 over-under. This just tells me that the game script is going to be absolutely terrible for Breece Hall. Agreed?
Agreed. Guys, this isn't good. This isn't good. This is one that I would honestly potentially consider benching. And here's why. If Tyrod Taylor is banged up, Justin Fields is banged up, they ended up having, I even forget his name, John. It was Brady Cook is who it was, come in and looked bad. So guys, so what do you think a good Jacksonville defense is going to do? They're going to tee off on Breece Hall. And even if Breece Hall is getting, some of his reception play, I mean, if you look at what he did, he had 1 target last week. He had 2 targets the week before. So he's not even getting that. So you can't even really consider the passing attack with Breece Hall with the way this offense is constructed. This isn't a good matchup. I would be highly skeptical of rolling out Breece Hall. And here's just a couple other nuggets. Guys, when you look at Breece Hall from the last 4 weeks alone, he was running back 33, running back 16, running back 16, running back 44. In those 4 games, he has eclipsed over 60 yards rushing one time. And again, you're talking about at Jacksonville, a star-studded defense, especially against the rush. I'm telling you guys, this might be the week to look elsewhere for Breece Hall.
All right, last backfield here. We've got the Lions at the Rams. Terrible matchup. This Rams defense is just fucking smothering. Jahmyr Gibbs, I mean, you're playing him, obviously. You're going to goddamn hope he gets some passes out of the backfield and takes one to the house, man, because he got you here. and it's going to be really tough for him to get you to move on. Now, the real question here is David Montgomery. What are we doing with Monty? Do you feel good playing him?
No. This week I don't feel good playing him. He's probably going to be touchdown dependent, guys. So really, there's two different ways you can look at this. It's going to be an absolute slugfest from a defensive standpoint, and Detroit's going to try to really just keep the ball. That way they're keeping the Rams offense off the field, or this could turn into a shootout. And that doesn't bode well for Montgomery either, because that's going to be a ton of receptions for Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra, right, J-Mo, etc. And that's where Monty sits down. Where Monty really does well is when they have a lead or it's really close and they can kind of crank that clock a little bit. But again, for this type of matchup, though, knowing how good the Rams are up front, that doesn't bode well for that strategy. So for me, it's not very appealing is the best way I can say that when looking at David Montgomery, but of course you're firing up Gibbs.
All right. Frankie, give me a couple of tight ends here that with favorable slates, guys that these aren't guys that you've probably been playing all year long. So give me some guys this week that you really like at tight end based on the matchups.
Yeah, guys. I mean, for me, it comes to the 49ers. Again, we talked about it with the Titans. You're firing up Kittle. We talked about that. But some of the other ones, guys, Brenton Strange. Yeah, he had a little bit of a down week this past week, but playing the Jets, I mean, this should be a wonderful matchup, a very favorable slate for that of Brenton. So if he's on your waiver, and you may have some of these other guys that we'll mention, like maybe it's, Brock. Well, we're going to start Brock Bowers, but maybe it's maybe you had David Njoku, or you have some of these other cats that have a little bit tougher schedule. Maybe you have Dawson Knox just coming off a big week, but can you trust it in 2 weeks? I'm going Brenton Strange there. Love this matchup quite a bit. The other one, man, that I really, really like, because we talked about the Ravens. I really like Isaiah Likely. I think there's stuff there. Mark Andrews, certainly against the Bengals, guys. This could be an awesome, fun shootout. But the other big one that I've had circled, John, is Darren Waller. Guys, against the Steelers here.
He did it last year at this time of year.
You can do it. Like, I get that he's coming back from an injury. But, guys, yes, and last week he didn't perform well. He had 3 targets, 1 catch for 13 yards. But the game script caused that to happen. The Dolphins were way up, right? Way up. They didn't need to do anything crazy. But against the Steelers, completely different situation. So for Darren Waller, for me, man, I think that this is a very interesting sleeper that you could look at from a tight end perspective.
All right, and we've got some guys running the gauntlet here. Now, they're tough matchups, but can you really sit some of these tight ends here, man? I mean, we're talking Dalton Kincaid at the Patriots. You're firing him up, right? It's a tough matchup, but it's got to go to him, right? I mean, he has to be a big part of this offense. What about Jauan Johnson for the Saints playing the Panthers this week? Is that a matchup you like or dislike?
So on paper, you're looking at that and you're like, I don't necessarily like it. Here's the deal, though. I personally would be firing up Jauan Johnson. I'm willing to take the risk here because Tyler Shugg has been doing so well. When you look at the last 3 weeks alone, man, he ended up having 20 targets in the last 3 weeks. And that equates to 15 receptions. Yes, he's not doing a ton of yardage with that, but if you're in a full PPR league and you're getting 20 targets and 15 receptions in 3 weeks, that's a really cozy floor. You can plug in Jauan Johnson and know you're probably going to get 6 to 8 points from a floor standpoint. And God, if he booms, which we've seen that capability, then you're going to be in the double digits and you're looking like a genius. So for me, yes, this matchup isn't great, but actually, I'm willing to take the risk this week with Jauan Johnson.
Yeah, he could get in the end zone.
Totally.
I mean, if you get another 6 catches, with 8 targets, and he's very likely to get in the end zone, man. So I absolutely love that. As soon as they got rid of Rashid Shaheed, Jauan Johnson's value went straight up. He's the number 2 target on this team behind Olave. Yeah, you got to respect that. What about the Raiders? You got to play Brock Bowers, but it's not a good matchup. It's not a good matchup.
I mean, look at the Eagles.
The Eagles defense, and yes, they lost to the Chargers, but they shut down Alonde Gadsden. That dude had like 1 or 2 catches, man.
Yeah.
So tough against the tight ends, no question about it.
John, you're right. 4 targets, 1 reception, 7 yards.
Yeah.
In a positive game script.
And if you're looking to beat the Raiders, what are you doing? You're doubling Brock Bowers. There's nobody else you're worried about on this offense, really, So absolutely, man. All right, Frankie, that is the show for the day. Let's go. All right, Frankie, what do we have everyone to look forward to this week? What's coming out?
Guys, check out the waiver wire being dropped. This could be the most critical waiver wire because of the weeks to come. Check that out. That's dropping tonight. And then also, don't forget about Fridays with Frankie. Guys, I'm giving you the top 5 things you need to know for the weekend, and it is gold. I promise you I will keep you updated on some of the biggest names. And lastly, John, this just came across the ticker. Breaking news.
I
Colts
just saw that.
The Colts have signed Old Man Rivers, Papa Rivers,
my
44
God.
years old. And guess who's going to be potentially rolling out there is Papa Rivers. So, guys, very interesting for the Colts. Excited to see what the game plan could look like.
This changes things for me. I'm not starting Pittman. I'm not starting Alec Pierce. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
there
sorry.
you
The
go.
guy hasn't played football for a couple of years. He's
Yeah.
44 years old. He's got like 8 kids. He's tired. I guarantee
tired.
it. Okay. No way, man. Thank you so much, guys. Please follow us on social media, Frankly Fantasy Football, TikTok, Instagram. That's where all the action happens. It's wonderful, guys. And also on YouTube, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Tells you each week when content's coming out. Yeah, we're going to be with you in the playoffs here, guys. We're going to get you through 15, 16. We're going to get you to that fucking Super Bowl as well. And also tune in after the season. We're going to have some look backs. We're going to go through the top of each position, just talk about some of the surprises, some of the busts, all of that kind of stuff. Stick with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. Frankie, throw me out on OH. Come on, baby.
OH!
Are you?
Gosh.
May the fantasy gods smile upon you. Bye.